I'll show you how to use Google's new booking app to send someone a link to book time on your calendar based on your availability. We'll walk through setting your available time slots, creating fully automated responses, and some of the features that weren't exactly intuitive but have really revolutionized my booking appointments. Let's go. Hey friends, Joe Zeppelin here. Just a quick disclaimer, I'm not sponsored by Google. This tool just generally saves me about 10 hours a week. It's free and I think it can really help you out. All I ask in return is that you smash that like button and hit that subscribe button if you like to stay up to date on all things AI, business, and tech. Now let's get to it. Open up Google Calendar by clicking the first link in the description. Here you're going to be able to create your Google bookings simply by logging in with your Google Gmail address. Great, so this opened up your Google Calendar. So you'll see ours is blank because we haven't scheduled any appointments yet. So at the top right, you'll be able to see what this looks like from a monthly, weekly, and then a daily view. Let's go ahead and select ours to weekly. You're going to see this create button and scroll down to appointment schedule. Here you want to title what your booking time slots are going to be. So I'm going to put something simple like schedule time with Joe. Awesome. Now you're going to be able to see what duration you want to set those appointments for. So the default is 1 hour, and you can see this on the right side where all these little blue time slots are broken up in 1 hour increments. You can easily change this by selecting 2 hours, and now you'll see 4 2-hour time slots. But for our purposes today, let's keep this at 1 hour. Next, you're going to want to set what days a week are you traditionally going to want to take appointments with people. But let's say, for instance, if we don't want to work Mondays, you can simply just select this button here. So the default shows that we're available from 9 to 5. Let's say we start a little bit earlier in the day and we want to do 8 to 4. All you need to do is go to Tuesday, select the start time, and you'll move the end time to 4. And you'll see here on the right side, Tuesday is now available during that time slot. Now, unfortunately, the other days, we have to change those too. And I don't really want to go line by line and change each one of these. You can simply just select these squares here. It's actually going to copy that same duration for every single day of the week remaining. Great, so those are all set up. So now imagine you have a day that's not like the others. Maybe we're available at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, but we have something in the middle we really can't miss. You can go ahead and select an earlier time slot, let's say 8 o'clock to, let's do 11 o'clock, and then select this plus button on Saturday and change this one here from 1 o'clock to, let's say, 4 o'clock. So now on the right side, you're going to be able to see that you can take 3 appointments at the beginning of the day and 3 appointments at the end of the day. So that's really cool. Now, one thing that's really important to do is make sure that your Google Calendar is set up for your time zone. So let's go ahead and select our time zone here. And let's scroll down and fill out the rest of these requirements before you can actually copy that link and start sending it to people. Let's go ahead and open up the scheduling window. So here there's a really unique one. It says available now or scheduled start and end dates. So let's imagine that we're not really ready to start taking appointments yet, but we're going to be able to start taking appointments next month. You can open up your availability starting on a specific date. Let's say March 1st, for instance. And here you're going to be able to see that no time slots are available for people to book on our calendar until March 1st. So let's go ahead for the sake of this video and do available now. If you go right underneath this, this is where you can say how far in advance can someone book time on your calendar. So if you uncheck this box, you're essentially saying that anyone can book time on your calendar for an indefinite time into the future. 5 years from now, they could book a time slot on your calendar. I normally only like to take appointments about 30 days out. So let's go ahead and change this to 30. The next one, you want to give yourself enough time to prepare. This one is the minimum amount of time between someone booking and it actually being scheduled on your calendar. For instance, if you change this from 4 to 2, that means no one can book time on your calendar within the next 2 hours. You have to get at least a 2-hour window to prepare for the call. Okay, so the next one is really important, especially if you're a busy person. That's probably why you're trying to allocate time on your time slot. You probably have things going on specific days that you just can't be available for. So this adjusted availability here allows you to actually select a date and select a very specific date. Let's do February 20th, and we can say that all day on February 20th, we don't want to be available. And on the right side on this Thursday, you'll see that now no one can book time on February 20th. Now let's just say it's just a couple hours on February 20th that we want that to be different. You can go ahead and select February 20th again and change your availability for that date specifically. Now the next one is really important to make sure that you give yourself enough time to prepare in between calls. So that's where this buffer comes in. So you'll see right now on the right side, we're available from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and we have 1 hour increments the whole way through. If we leave it like this, that means we could have 8 1-hour calls back to back. I always like to give buffers between my appointments to give myself enough time to prepare for the next one. Let's go ahead and change this to 15 minutes, for instance. And now on the right side, you'll see it's impossible for you to have calls back to back. Let's go ahead and turn off buffer for the sake of this video. And while we do that, if you haven't heard, our most popular video on the channel is actually on Buffer. It's a social media tool where you can schedule all your content in one centralized spot and have it automatically post to all your different social media platforms. It's a free tool, and I'll put a link right up here if you want to automate your social media so that you can start posting more consistently, if that's helpful for you. And let's keep going on this booking calendar. So the next one is you can set up the maximum amount of bookings that you can have a day. To do this, you can just check this box. This would mean that we can't take more than 4 bookings in one time slot. I like to normally keep this off. And the last one that's always helpful to have is to enable your guests to invite other people. So let's go ahead and leave this checked and open up the calendars tab. If you already utilize Google Calendars and you have certain appointments on your calendar, your scheduled availability will not let you book anything that you already have something booked within that time slot. You can only connect one calendar. So if you're someone like me who has 4 or 5 different calendars that you like to manage, you have to upgrade to their paid version. But if you only have one Google Calendar, the free version works plenty good enough. And lastly, let's just color code this. Let's go ahead and make these greens. Those time slots really stand out on our calendar. So the next thing here is you're going to be able to select your profile photo that you want to show up when someone books an appointment with you. There's a video right up here. We're not going to go through this specifically in this video, but the benefit of doing this is when you email someone, your profile photo is going to show up when they receive that email. I definitely recommend doing that if you don't have that set up yet. But let's go ahead and continue on with this video here. The next thing is you're going to be able to select your location. Your options here are essentially Google will create a link that both of you guys can jump on and take the call. Second one here is you can add an in-person meeting and just add a location for them to meet you at. And then the remaining ones are a phone call or specify later. I always like to use this Google Meet. It's incredibly useful. It's kind of like a Zoom link. Next, when someone clicks that link to book an appointment with you, you have the opportunity to provide them with a message. So let's go ahead and put something in the description like, hey, super excited to meet you and learn how I can help service your social media needs. Choose a time below and we'll talk soon. And this is what's going to show up when they go to book that appointment. Now, when they book that appointment, you get to collect some information from them. So by default up here, first name, last name, and email address. And lastly, right before we make this link, enable reminders. So when someone books a time on your calendar, they get a reminder 24 hours in advance, and so do you. This is just super helpful to make sure that you guys both make that meeting. Awesome. So now we have the time slots where someone can schedule time with Joe. And in order to share this, which is the most important thing we want to do here, let's go ahead and select the share button. And up here, you're going to be able to copy this link. So this link could be shared in an email, but I want to show you just how easy this could be if you shared something like this over text message and what the other user actually sees. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like on a cell phone. So I got a text message from this person saying they saw how I posted 100 videos in 100 days. They want to do something similar and wanted to know if we can get on a call to discuss it together. I just send a simple text here and say, why don't we book some time to talk about it? Go ahead and click this link. When John gets that message and clicks the appointment link, this is what he's going to see on his side. And here he's going to be able to scroll down and see earlier that we selected that we're available Tuesdays to Saturdays. So let's go ahead and select Thursday the 20th and scroll down a little more. And now it's going to show all the time slots that are available on my calendar. So let's click 10 o'clock. And again, it's going to ask John for this information. So first name, John, last name, Smith. It's going to ask for his email. And then lastly, an opportunity to put in the phone number, which is the extra question we wanted to ask. And remember, you can add anything to this form. These are just the initial 4 questions that we chose to add. And let's go ahead and select the book. Now, this is going to trigger 3 really important steps. One is John's going to get an email of the confirmation for this booking. 2 is we're going to get an alert that someone had booked time on our calendar. And 3, most importantly, what does this look like inside our Google Calendar? So let's go ahead and open up Google here. So we're going to be able to see that someone booked time on our calendar. And then if we select that, we're going to be able to see the person's name, the meeting time, as well as some additional information that they filled out. If you want to learn how to do more things like this and you found enjoyment out of this video, I recommend you do 3 things. Number 1, like this video. It really helps us out and shows that the audience is enjoying the content. Number 2, subscribe to the channel if you like to stay up to date on all things AI, business, and tech. And number 3, go check out this video on Buffer. It's our most popular video on the channel. And if you are posting consistently on social media, I guarantee it will help you out As all things small business, start small, start today, and I'll see you in the next video.